What if everything you thought about love, the brushes, the butterflies, the fireworks, never showed up for you? Meet Georgia, who's surrounded by friends falling in and out of romance, but for her, nothing clicks. Is she broken? Or is love not what she's been told it should be? In this story, you'll question not only what it means to be in love, but what it means to be yourself. Welcome to Alice Oseman's Loveless, a journey that will shake the very idea of love you thought you knew.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to BookPodCastZone. I'm Emma,
And I'm John.
ready to unpack the nuances and connect the dots in Georgia's compelling narrative. You've given us a truly fantastic book to explore today, Loveless by Alice Oseman. Our mission, as always, is to navigate this rich source material, extracting the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight. We're going to take you on Georgia's deeply personal journey, chapter by chapter, to truly understand what it means to discover yourself in a world often obsessed with a singular vision of romance.
Yeah, it really feels like that sometimes, doesn't it? Just one way to be happy.
Exactly. And this isn't just a story about the absence of romantic feeling. It's a profound exploration of identity, the multifaceted nature of friendship, and a courageous challenge to deeply ingrained societal expectations about what a full or happy life should look like.
Right. Like, what does success even mean if it doesn't include finding the one?
Precisely. Ultimately, it's about finding a sense of belonging when you realize you don't fit into conventional molds. It's a really powerful message.
Absolutely, John. And what a journey it is. We're going to follow Georgia through the roller coaster of her university adventures, the intricate dance of her friendships, her inevitable missteps and heartaches, and ultimately her profound, liberating self-discovery.
It's definitely not a straight path for her.
No, not at all. Each chapter serves as a crucial stepping stone in her evolution, and we'll be here to explore the rich emotional depth and the surprising insights Oseman masterfully weaves into Georgia's life and the lives of those around her. It's incredibly nuanced. So, okay, let's start at the beginning. Chapter 1. We begin our deep dive into Georgia's story at a quintessential American high school milestone. Prom night.
Prom, the big one.
Exactly. Picture the scene. It's almost cinematic in its familiarity. There are months of anticipation leading up to it, the glitter, the expensive outfits, the endless quest for the perfect photos, all underpinned by this pervasive cultural promise of a truly magical moment.
Yeah, the pressure is immense, especially in the U.S. It's built up so much.
Totally. Prom is often presented as the culmination of your high school experience, frequently ending with a fairy tale-like romantic connection, a first kiss, a declaration of young love. You know the drill.
The rom-com ending.
Right. And the after party. It's typically a vortex of chaotic energy. You can almost hear the loud music thumping, see the dance floor packed, the couple stealing intimate glances and sharing tender or passionate kisses, that palpable sense of young love and intense connection permeating every corner.
It's a very specific kind of energy, isn't it? Very focused on pairing up.
It really is. And everyone, including Georgia, is completely swept up in it, fully expecting to feel that same surge of magic, that undeniable spark. She wants to feel it.
She believes she should feel it.
Exactly. This collective, almost universal expectation sets up such a powerful and poignant contrast for what actually unfolds for Georgia.
That's right. And what's so compelling here is that initial, almost universal expectation Georgia carries into that night. She's at this party, immersed in what society, and certainly popular American culture, constantly tells her is the peak of teenage romance.
The ultimate moment.
Pretty much. Then the pivotal moment arrives. A boy's attempt to kiss her. It's not just any kiss. It's a gesture loaded with societal expectation, framed as an important romantic rite of passage. You know, the big movie moment.
Yeah, the one everyone talks about Monday morning.
Exactly. But for Georgia, this isn't a magical, heart-fluttering experience. Instead, she's overcome with a deep sense of unease, prompting her to physically pull away from the embrace.
Not just indifference, but actual unease.
Precisely. This reaction is the first critical divergence from the expected romantic narrative. It's more than just a general feeling of disinterest, which many might rationalize as simply not being into that particular person.
Right, you could explain that away easily.
You could, but this feels different. It's a profound, almost visceral physical reaction to a romantic gesture, creating an immediate and jarring dissonance for Georgia between what she's supposed to feel and what she actually feels.
That gap.
That gap. This moment is incredibly impactful because it serves as her first real, tangible indication that her internal emotional landscape doesn't align with the external romantic script everyone else seems to be following. Oseman really excels at showing how a moment that should feel universal can feel utterly alienating.
It's precisely this internal conflict that makes her experience so relatable, even if the specific details differ. That initial confusion, it's not a fleeting thought, but something that immediately sends Georgia into a spiral of self-comparison.
The what's wrong with me?
Spiral.
Totally.
She looks at her peers, her friends, at every depiction of romance she's absorbed from movies and social media and wonders,
Yeah.
why don't I feel the excitement, the flutter, the connection others do?
It must be terrifying.
I imagine so. This isn't merely an intellectual question. It's deeply emotional, bordering on existential, and profoundly isolating. What kind of thoughts might be racing through the mind of a teenager in that moment? Is she broken? Is there something fundamentally wrong with her?
It goes right to the core of her identity.
Exactly. The pressure to conform, to experience what everyone else experiences, is immense, particularly during adolescence when identity is so fluid and peer validation is so crucial. You can almost picture her scanning the room, seeing all these outwardly happy couples, and feeling like an alien in her own skin, wondering why she's excluded from this seemingly universal human experience.
That feeling of otherness.
It's a feeling of profound otherness that starts to take root right there.
And that feeling of otherness is amplified by the sheer weight of teenage milestones, like first kisses and first loves. These aren't just personal experiences. They are heavily socialized as rites of passage, particularly within American culture.
Oh, absolutely. It's everywhere.
Think about the cultural dialogue surrounding these moments in U.S. high schools. Who are you going to prom with? Did anything happen after the dance? Tell me everything about your first kiss. There are elaborate debriefings with friends, shared excitement, and a collective anticipation of romantic connection.
The constant question.
Right. For Georgia, her silence or discomfort in these conversations becomes a subtle yet incredibly powerful sign of her difference. Her internal reality simply does not match the external narrative.
She can't participate in that shared language.
Exactly. This is the core aha moment that Oseman delivers for the reader. The stark disconnect between external expectation and internal reality, highlighting how these deeply ingrained milestones don't always and don't have to align with one's personal feelings. It challenges the assumption that there's a single correct way to experience life's romantic journey.
And what's particularly compelling is how this narrative connects to our contemporary world. We're in 2025, and there's a rapidly growing awareness of diverse identities, often amplified through social media.
That's a huge factor now.
Totally. Imagine Georgia in the quiet aftermath of that bewildering prom night, secretly scrolling through platforms like TikTok or Instagram. These platforms have become incredibly powerful tools for young people in the U.S. and elsewhere to discover terms and communities for identities that were previously unacknowledged, rarely discussed, or even entirely unknown in mainstream society.
Finding the language is so crucial.
Isn't it? She might stumble upon discussions about people who don't experience romantic attraction, or find a community that articulates exactly what she's feeling, providing a lifeline and a glimmer of hope that she isn't alone or broken.
It can be life-changing, finding that validation online.
Absolutely. This expanding digital landscape for identity exploration offers a crucial space for validation and self-identification for countless individuals navigating similar journeys. It underscores how finding the right vocabulary can transform a vague, isolating discomfort into a concrete, shareable identity.
It gives it a name, makes it real.
Exactly. This makes me wonder, have you, our listener, ever felt that profound pressure to experience something in a certain way, only to find your own feelings were entirely different from the prescribed norm?
It's a powerful question. That initial confusion and budding self-awareness plants a seed in Georgia, but her journey of understanding is far from over. It's a nascent realization that she immediately tries to suppress or fix.
Right, the impulse is to make it go away.
Understandably so. With a fresh start looming on the horizon, the promise of university, she decides to actively attempt to reshape this perceived difference, believing a new environment might change her internal landscape. This sets the stage for a chapter filled with intentional, though ultimately misdirected, efforts.
Like, subscribe, and share for more updates, and let's continue to the next chapter. So Georgia's high school experience, particularly that uncomfortable prom night, left her with more questions than answers about herself. Now, as we move into Chapter 2, Alice Oseman masterfully immerses us in Georgia's fresh start at Durham University.
The big move to college.
Yes. This is classic new beginning territory, often romanticized in American narratives about college. A blank slate, a golden opportunity to reinvent oneself, to leave behind the awkwardness or perceived shortcomings of high school, and finally become the person you've always wanted to be.
The college glow-up idea.
Exactly. There's that potent mix of excitement and anxiety that comes with arriving in a new place, surrounded by new faces, and the implicit promise of boundless possibilities. For Georgia, this isn't just a casual new beginning. She makes a deliberate, almost desperate vow to reinvent herself.
She has a plan. Or thinks she does.
Right. This isn't passive. It's an active, intentional choice, directly driven by the discomfort and confusion from the prom night experience. She truly believes college is the perfect environment to finally become who she thinks she should be, someone who experiences the fireworks of romance.
And we immediately witness Georgia's proactive, almost frantic efforts. She's joining various university clubs, attending countless parties, and genuinely trying to put herself out there in every social situation.
She's really going for it.
She is. The focus here isn't just on building platonic friendships, though those are naturally forming. It's specifically about actively exploring romantic relationships. She's seeking out those connections, perhaps going on dates with various people, engaging in flirtatious conversations, essentially attempting to manufacture the romantic and sexual feelings she believes she's lacking.
Trying to force the spark.
Pretty much. Yet, what's particularly insightful here is the unintended and somewhat heartbreaking consequence. Her efforts to fit in actually strain her long-standing bonds with close friends Jason and Pip.
Oh, that's tough. The people who knew her before.
Exactly. Why does this happen? Oseman hints that Georgia becomes so consumed by her quest for this new romantic identity and new connections that she inadvertently neglects those who know and love her authentic self.
She's too focused on the mission.
Right. She might be trying too hard to be someone she's not around these new people, creating a distance, a performative barrier from those who knew her before the reinvention. This narrative choice powerfully illustrates the inherent danger of a forced transformation. It often alienates the very individuals who know and cherish your authentic self, implicitly showing how inauthenticity can damage existing, deeply valuable relationships. It's a painful trade-off.
That's a powerful observation. And it leads us directly into some incredibly painful emotional turning points for Georgia. Despite actively surrounding herself with new people and constantly seeking connection, feelings of profound isolation begin to creep in.
Even in a crowd.
Exactly. This is such a powerful paradox. She's doing everything she believes she needs to do to fit in and find love, yet she feels even more alone than before. Her inauthentic approach, this desperate, forced reinvention, paradoxically leads to a deeper, more profound loneliness.
It backfires completely.
Totally. She's confronting the stark, undeniable gap between her expectations of college life and the harsh reality of her internal world. The dream of college fixing her isn't materializing.
The magic isn't happening.
No. The initial excitement of a fresh start is gradually replaced by a dawning, unsettling realization that the core problem, or rather, the fundamental difference she experiences, might not be her environment or the people around her, but something intrinsic to her being that a mere change of scenery or superficial effort cannot simply resolve.
That's a scary thought to confront.
It must be. It's a moment of truth that strips away her hopeful illusions.
And this narrative thread raises a crucial point about the pervasive myth that college will somehow fix personal uncertainties or internal struggles. This is a very common narrative in American society, particularly for young adults moving away from home for the first time.
Oh yeah, you'll find yourself in college.
Exactly that phrase. College is often portrayed as the transformative place where one finds themselves, where all your previous issues melt away and a new, perfect version of yourself emerges. But what we witness with Georgia is a much more nuanced reality. True self-discovery is about authentic internal exploration, not forced external change.
It has to come from within.
Precisely. The true value, as Oseman skillfully implies, lies in cultivating authentic connections over performative ones. Georgia's strained relationships are a direct, painful consequence of her trying to force herself into a societal mold that doesn't fit, implicitly valuing what's real and genuine over what's put on for show.
Her real friendships suffer.
They do. Consider the elaborate U.S. university orientations, massive club fairs, and endless social events, all meticulously designed to encourage rapid connection. For some students, this intense push to socialize can, ironically, make them feel even more isolated if they don't immediately click or find their tribe, just as Georgia experiences.
Yeah, that forced fun can be brutal.
This environment can amplify the pressure to conform, even as it promises liberation.
And it's not just a personal experience for Georgia. University life today, especially in 2025, significantly amplifies identity questions through its inherently diverse communities. Contrast this, for a moment, with the relatively smaller, often more homogeneous high school environment.
Way more exposure to different people and ideas.
Absolutely. At a large public university, whether in California or New York, you'll encounter a student body bringing together individuals from a vast array of backgrounds, cultures, and identities. This exposure can be both incredibly liberating by offering new perspectives and validating diverse experiences, and simultaneously overwhelming, forcing a much deeper level of self-reflection.
It forces you to think about where you fit in or maybe where you don't.
Exactly. It's also deeply resonant with the role of online forums and communities in 2025 that support young adults navigating similar transitions. These digital spaces become crucial for finding community, language, and understanding when your immediate physical environment might not offer the answers or validation you desperately need.
That online support network is key for so many.
So true. So reflecting on George's experience, what new perspectives does this bring to your understanding of finding oneself? Have you ever felt that intense pressure to change who you are in a new environment, only to realize that authenticity was what truly mattered for genuine connection?
It's a really common feeling, I think. Georgia's initial attempts at transformation, fueled by a desire to conform, ultimately didn't bring the romantic magic she expected. Instead, they created significant friction and loneliness.
Yeah, it really didn't work out the way she planned.
Not at all. This painful realization now sets the stage for a much more direct and, unfortunately, potentially much riskier experiment in her quest for answers. She moves from passive hope to active, if misguided, intervention.
Like, subscribe, and share for more updates, and let's continue to the next chapter. Following her disappointing attempts to simply fit in at college, we move into Chapter 3, where Alice Oseman pulls us deeper into George's increasingly desperate experiments with love.
Things start getting really complicated here.
Definitely. Georgia is now at a point of growing desperation. She's still consumed by the need to understand herself, still clinging to the hope of finding a clear answer to why she feels so fundamentally different, and still, above all, hoping to finally fit in with her peers.
The pressure hasn't let up.
Not one bit. This profound desperation leads her to what she perceives as a safe experiment. Dating someone familiar and trusted, her best friend, Jason.
Oh boy. Dating the best friend. That's a classic trope, but here, it's different.
It is. There's this underlying, almost heartbreaking hope that a romantic relationship, especially with someone she already cares about deeply on a platonic level, will finally ignite feelings and make her feel normal.
She's thinking maybe it's just the person I need, someone I already trust.
Exactly. It's a last-ditch effort, almost a scientific trial of her own emotions, undertaken with genuine but ultimately misguided intentions.
What's profoundly insightful here is the progression of Georgia and Jason's relationship. They begin dating, and from Georgia's perspective, this isn't a casual fling. It's a genuine, albeit ultimately misguided, attempt to feel something, to test the waters of romance with a familiar, safe harbor.
She's really trying.
She is. They share what are described as intimate moments, moments that in a conventional romantic narrative would be deeply meaningful and spark connection. But for Georgia, these moments fall flat.
Just nothing.
Nothing romantic. This is absolutely crucial. It's not just a superficial lack of passion. It's a profound, chilling absence of the specific romantic connection she's desperately seeking. It's a moment of stark, painful realization that even with someone she deeply trusts and cares for, that particular romantic spark simply isn't there within her.
That must be devastating confirmation.
Absolutely. The truly painful part comes when George's true experimental intentions are inadvertently revealed. Jason, presumably, enters this relationship with genuine romantic interest and affection, believing they are exploring a shared romantic future.
He thinks it's real for both of them.
Right. Georgia, however, approaches it as a personal test, an experiment on her own emotions. This moment is a devastating turning point because it forces Georgia to confront that the problem isn't who she's with or the specific circumstances of the relationship. It's something much deeper, an internal landscape she hasn't yet named or understood. The object of affection doesn't change her internal wiring.
Wow. And this leads to an intensely painful dual emotional impact, reverberating through both Georgia and Jason. Let's really focus on Jason's profound hurt upon learning that their relationship was, for Georgia, largely an experiment.
That's gotta sting a lot.
For him, this would register as a profound betrayal from a trusted, lifelong friend. He's not just disappointed that the romance didn't work out. He feels used, his genuine feelings disregarded, his vulnerability exploited, even if unintentionally.
Yeah, experiment is a harsh word when feelings are involved.
Definitely. And for Georgia, this brings with it immense guilt and heartbreak. Her intentions, while born of confusion and desperation for self-understanding, were not malicious. But the outcome is devastating. She's not only hurting herself through this failed experiment, but she's inflicted deep pain on someone she deeply cares about.
She didn't mean to, but the damage was done.
Exactly. This is a difficult, messy, and truly heartbreaking realization for her, highlighting the significant collateral damage that can occur when one's personal journey collides with the authentic emotions of others. You can only imagine the weight of her actions and the lasting impact this has on their long-standing friendship. Can a bond so severely tested, built on trust now shattered, ever truly recover from something like this?
It raises huge questions about their future.
The stakes feel incredibly high.
And this unfortunate incident raises an important question about how pervasive societal norms can subtly, or sometimes overtly, push individuals into relationships that fundamentally don't fit them.
That pressure to pair up.
Exactly. Consider the immense pressure in many cultures, especially in American society, to be in a romantic relationship. It's often presented as the ultimate sign of adulthood, personal success, and a foundational component of happiness.
It's everywhere. Movies, ads, family gatherings.
Right. We see it in common societal milestones like settling down, finding the one, or even the relentless, often intrusive questions relatives ask at family gatherings about one's dating life. Seeing anyone special, when are you going to settle down?
Ugh, those questions.
These deeply embedded pressures can subtly compel individuals to try and force feelings that aren't there, or to enter relationships purely out of a desire to conform to perceived expectations. Georgia's experience vividly illustrates this struggle.
She's trying so hard to fit that expectation.
She is. This painful lesson also critically underscores the absolute importance of honesty and transparency in close bonds. Even when intentions are good, a fundamental lack of transparency, especially regarding one's core motivations for entering a relationship, can cause significant and lasting harm. It's a stark reminder that even our most intimate relationships demand clear, open, and vulnerable communication.
That's a crucial point, and it resonates powerfully with contemporary discussions around consent and emotional boundaries, especially within 2025's mental health-focused culture.
The conversation has shifted, thankfully.
It really has. This chapter really underscores the absolute need for open, honest communication in any connection, not just physical ones. In American universities and in broader media, there's an increasing emphasis on clear communication, emotional intelligence, and respect for boundaries in all types of relationships.
Not just romantic ones.
Exactly. The concept of emotional consent is steadily gaining traction. It's about ensuring all parties are fully aware of and agree to the emotional terms and expectations of a relationship. Georgia's failure to be fully transparent with Jason, while born of her own confusion and internal struggle, highlights this critical need for explicit communication about one's intentions.
It's about respecting the other person's feelings and agency.
Precisely. This chapter truly drives home the idea that sometimes trying desperately to fit a predetermined mold can inadvertently break other valuable things and people along the way. It's a messy truth. Has there been a time in your own life where you felt compelled to act a certain way in a relationship just to meet an external expectation, and what was the cost?
It's something many people can probably relate to, unfortunately. George's experiment with Jason was a painful and isolating revelation, but the journey of self-discovery, particularly in uncharted emotional territory, often involves such missteps.
Learning the hard way.
Often, yes. Her next move, unfortunately, driven by a continued search for answers, creates an even deeper, more complex rift in her most important friendships, pushing her further into emotional turmoil.
Like, subscribe, and share for more updates, and let's continue to the next chapter. After the difficult and heartbreaking fallout with Jason, George is still very much searching, still desperately hoping to find answers through further experimentation. We now move into Chapter 4, where Alice Oseman heightens the drama and emotional stakes considerably.
Yeah, things definitely don't get simpler.
No kidding. Georgia's deep-seated confusion about her attractions, or lack thereof, persists, and her willingness to try almost anything to understand herself remains tragically high.
She's really grasping at straws now.
It feels like it. In this vulnerable state, she becomes particularly susceptible to influence, especially from her new roommate, Rooney, who is portrayed as more romantically experienced and perhaps more adventurous. This context sets the precarious stage for a critical moment that will further complicate Georgia's already strained friendships.
And this is where the plot really twists. What's truly compelling here is how Georgia's intense desire for self-discovery unknowingly intersects with the unacknowledged feelings of others.
The unintended consequences pile up.
They really do. Rooney, in an attempt to be helpful or perhaps simply curious, encourages Georgia to try a kiss, again with the explicit goal for Georgia to explore her attractions.
Another experiment.
Exactly. For Georgia, this is absolutely not a romantic gesture. It's purely an investigative one, another carefully constructed experiment to see if she can feel anything at all.
Just gathering data, basically.
In her mind, yes. The kiss itself happens, and crucially, Georgia feels nothing romantic, further confirming her deeply held suspicion that she lacks romantic attraction. However, the devastating, unforeseen consequence of this seemingly innocuous act is that it profoundly devastates Pip, who, completely unbeknownst to Georgia, harbors genuine romantic feelings for Rooney.
Oh no, Pip likes Rooney.
Yes, and sees this kiss. This injects a painful love triangle element into the narrative, but with a significant, heartbreaking twist. Georgia's motivation isn't rivalry, malice, or even romantic interest. It's solely her desperate quest for self-discovery.
She had no idea she was stepping into that.
None at all. This powerfully highlights the profound collateral damage that can occur during intense personal exploration, especially when others' unspoken feelings are involved, even if the intentions were entirely pure and unintentional. It's a messy reality that even the most well-intentioned journeys can have significant and painful ripple effects on those closest to us.
And the emotional fallout from this misunderstanding is immediate and profound, creating a chasm between lifelong friends. Pip's utter refusal to forgive Georgia creates a deep and agonizing rift.
Understandable from Pip's perspective, feeling betrayed on multiple levels.
Totally. This is a truly significant blow for Georgia, who, despite her romantic struggles, values her lifelong friendship with Pip above almost everything else. Losing Pip, especially after the recent painful incident with Jason, would be a devastating blow to her already fragile support system, threatening to completely unravel her core connections.
She's losing her anchors.
Exactly. You can only imagine the depth of Pip's pain, feeling profoundly betrayed by Georgia, her best friend, and simultaneously feeling rejected or overlooked by Rooney, for whom she secretly harbored deep feelings. The complexity here is immense, showing how the intricate web of female friendships and burgeoning romantic feelings can intertwine and create deep, lasting wounds, even when no one truly intended to cause harm.
It's just a tangle of hurt feelings and misunderstandings.
A real mess. It's a moment of compounded heartbreak and misunderstanding.
And this particular scenario raises an important question about the profound misunderstandings that can arise during identity exploration and how these can fracture trust, even among the closest allies.
When you're trying to figure yourself out, it's easy to forget the impact on others.
It can be. What's truly insightful here is how even a well-intentioned personal journey can have these significant ripple effects, especially when there's a lack of open communication or when intentions are misread. Consider the breakdown of communication in this sensitive situation.
Yeah, what could have been different?
Could Georgia have been more transparent with Pip about her ongoing emotional experiments and struggles with romantic attraction? Conversely, could Pip have perhaps been more understanding of Georgia's unique internal struggle if Georgia had found the courage to share it earlier?
Hindsight is 20/20, right?
Always. Oseman underscores the immense importance of empathy from all sides, not just for Georgia to understand her friend's feelings, but for her friends to attempt to understand her unique and confusing internal experience. This reveals just how challenging it is to navigate these uncharted territories of self-discovery, particularly when there isn't a readily available shared vocabulary or understanding for such experiences in mainstream discourse.
It's hard to explain something you don't have words for yourself.
Exactly. It's a testament to the messiness of real human connection.
This is where Oseman's storytelling gets truly compelling. With 2025's growing emphasis on queer inclusive storytelling in media, this moment, though painful, reflects the complex realities of supporting friends through profound personal discoveries, often without immediate judgment.
We're seeing more nuanced stories now.
We are. Across American media, there's an increasing awareness and depiction of diverse sexual and romantic orientations, aiming to showcase these varied experiences. This situation, however, highlights how even within queer-affirming spaces, navigating personal boundaries, unspoken feelings, and the messy process of self-identification can be incredibly challenging.
It's not always straightforward or easy.
Definitely not. It's not always a clear, straight path to self-acceptance and understanding, and sometimes people do get hurt, even in the earnest process of someone finding their authentic self. It's not just about a romantic misunderstanding. It's about the raw, messy reality of self-discovery and its significant impact on those we love. So, in this difficult chapter, what do you think Georgia could have done differently to mitigate the damage, or was this a necessary, albeit painful, step for his journey to true self-understanding?
It's a tough question with no easy answer. This chapter tragically plunges Georgia into deeper isolation, having alienated two of her closest, most cherished friends. But ironically, this very solitude, this crucible of loneliness, becomes the fertile, undisturbed ground for her most profound and utterly life-changing revelation.
The lowest point before the breakthrough.
Often how it happens, it is in this void that she finally finds clarity.
Like, subscribe, and share for more updates, and let's continue to the next chapter. So, after the devastating fallout with Jason and Pip, Georgia finds herself at her absolute lowest point. We move into Chapter 5, and Alice Oseman masterfully guides us through Georgia's profound and transformative awakening.
This is the turning point we've been building towards.
It really is. She's truly alone with her thoughts, having inadvertently pushed away her closest friends. This forced isolation, this period of intense solitude, paradoxically becomes the perfect, albeit painful, backdrop for deep, unhindered introspection.
Nowhere to run, just herself and her thoughts.
Exactly. All her past experiments and failures, her attempts with Jason, the awkward kiss with Rooney, all the preceding confusion and self-doubt weigh heavily on her. There's a palpable desperation to finally find a coherent explanation for her feelings, or, more accurately, her profound lack of certain feelings which have caused her so much pain.
She needs an answer. Badly. This is truly the pivotal turning point. What's incredibly insightful here is the moment Georgia begins to systematically piece together the puzzle of her identity. Alone, she starts to connect the myriad dots of her consistent lack of romantic and sexual interest, tracing back to childhood crushes that never materialized or the prom night experience.
Connecting the dots.
Yes. This isn't a sudden, blinding epiphany. It's depicted as a crucial intellectual and emotional process, requiring intense internal reflection and external investigation. We can easily imagine her turning to the resources available to young people today. Online searches, perhaps delving into forums or articles, reading anonymous accounts from others who describe similar experiences, and engaging in deep, unfiltered self-assessment.
The late-night internet deep dive.
Totally. Like so many young people in the U.S. do now, finding communities on Reddit or Discord. This diligent investigation ultimately leads to her moment of profound clarity, embracing her aromantic and asexual identity.
The light bulb moment.
Kind of, yeah. But it's earned. This isn't just an intellectual label she adopts. It's a deep personal acceptance of who she fundamentally is. To clearly define for our listeners, aromanticism means experiencing little to no romantic attraction, while asexuality means experiencing little to no sexual attraction. Right. And it's vital to remember that both are spectrums, and this is Georgia's specific, deeply personal, and ultimately liberating realization about herself. Georgia's journey beautifully mirrors this contemporary search for validation and understanding in digital spaces. Finding that language, that community, is everything.
And this brings us to an incredibly powerful and emotionally resonant turning point for Georgia. The initial pervasive devastation of feeling broken. This is such a raw and universally relatable emotion for anyone who feels fundamentally different from the norm.
That internalized societal pressure.
Exactly. It's the profound pain of internalizing all those societal expectations that dictate how you should feel, and believing something is intrinsically wrong with you when you consistently fail to meet those unspoken benchmarks. But, as Oseman beautifully illustrates, this devastation slowly, tentatively, gives way to a profound sense of acceptance.
It's not overnight joy.
No, not at all. It's not a sudden, triumphant burst of joy or an immediate fix for all her problems, but rather a gradual, hard-won understanding and a deep internal validation of her true self. However, even this powerful self-acceptance comes with a lingering, heartbreaking challenge. Without her friends, this newfound clarity paradoxically amplifies her loneliness.
Knowing yourself is one thing, being alone with it is another.
So true. Even with the internal piece of self-acceptance, the fundamental human need for connection, for belonging, remains paramount. It raises the powerful question: what does it truly mean to accept a core part of yourself that society frequently overlooks, misunderstands, or even actively invalidates? It takes immense courage to walk that path alone, even when the destination is self-truth.
And this profound personal discovery raises a critically important question for all of us. challenging the deeply ingrained societal idea that romantic love is absolutely essential for a fulfilling life.
The idea that it's the only path to happiness.
Precisely. This is the central philosophical shift of not only this chapter, but arguably the entire narrative arc of the book. Romantic love is incessantly presented as the ultimate goal, the apex of human experience, especially in American media, from Hollywood rom-coms to pop songs. It subtly implies that without it, your life is somehow incomplete or less valuable.
The happily ever after always involves romance.
Almost always. George's journey powerfully and unequivocally refutes this narrow definition of fulfillment. This chapter, in its essence, celebrates platonic bonds as equally valid, equally deep, and equally capable of providing immense satisfaction.
Friendship love is real love.
Exactly. What's truly important here is Oseman's emphasis that love manifests in a myriad of forms, and that friendship, family, and community love are just as rich, deep, enduring, and ultimately fulfilling as romantic love. Contrast George's newfound understanding with the typical happily ever after narrative dominant in American culture. Oseman expansively redefines what happiness and a full life can truly look like, offering a much broader, more inclusive vision that champions the diversity of human connection.
This is truly where Oseman breaks new ground, and this is where George's story becomes a beacon for so many. Aro-ace representation has seen a significant surge in 2025's young adult media, offering immense validation and a sense of being seen to countless readers who find themselves in George's journey of self-affirmation.
Visibility makes such a difference.
It really does. In the United States, we are witnessing increasing Aro-ace visibility across young adult literature and television shows, which is crucial in helping to normalize these identities for a wider audience and provide crucial mirrors for those previously invisible. This context makes George's story feel less isolated. She is, in a way, part of a growing movement of people finding the language and community for their unique experiences.
She's not alone, even if she feels it in that moment.
Right. This discovery for Georgia isn't just a label. It is a profound liberation from the pressure of an identity that never fit. What's truly fascinating here is how often we collectively assume a single, linear path to happiness, when in reality, there are so many diverse and equally valid ways to find profound fulfillment. What aspects of George's brave moment of self-acceptance resonate most deeply with you?
It's the quiet relief, I think, the letting go of that burden. With this profound and deeply personal understanding of herself, Georgia now faces a new, equally daunting, but ultimately hopeful challenge. How to reconcile with the friends she inadvertently alienated, and how to bravely integrate her true, authentic self back into her world.
The next step, rebuilding bridges.
Exactly. This transition beautifully leads us into a chapter about the immense power of vulnerability and the enduring strength of platonic friendship.
Like, subscribe, and share for more updates. And let's continue to the next chapter. So Georgia has achieved this incredible hard-won milestone of self-acceptance, a profound personal victory that has transformed her internal landscape. But as we discussed, her journey isn't truly complete without her friends, the people who form the bedrock of her external world.
The community aspect is vital.
Absolutely. We now move into Chapter 6, where Alice Oseman skillfully builds toward redemption and the mending of vital bonds. The emotional stakes are incredibly high here. Georgia risked everything, made some painful missteps in her desperation, and now she needs to bridge those broken connections.
It's apology time, but a really meaningful one.
Right. This isn't just about simply uttering an apology. It's about demonstrating a deep, empathetic understanding of her friend's pain and a genuine, unwavering commitment to repairing those foundational bonds. It's about more than words. It's about actions born of true growth.
What's truly insightful here is Georgia's incredibly thoughtful approach to reconciliation. She doesn't offer generic apologies. Instead, she crafts deeply thoughtful gestures specifically tailored to Jason and Pip, demonstrating a deep understanding of their individual hurts.
She really thinks about them.
Yes. For Jason, for instance, it's not just an expression of regret for hurting him, but perhaps a vulnerable explanation of her prior confusion and her journey of self-discovery, presented without excusing her actions. It's an honest acknowledgement of his genuine feelings and the depth of his pain.
Owning her part, but explaining the context.
Exactly. For Pip, it might be something that speaks directly to their shared history, their lifelong friendship, and her sincere understanding of Pip's unrequited feelings for Rooney, and how George's actions inadvertently, though deeply, caused pain.
Showing she gets why Pip was hurt.
Precisely. The key is that these gestures are meticulously personal and designed to prove her deep understanding and unwavering commitment to their friendships, not just to her own truth or identity. This is where Georgia demonstrates significant emotional maturity and growth.
She's learned a lot.
She really has. She's no longer solely focused on her own internal identity. She's actively considering the profound impact her actions had on others and diligently working to repair that damage, showcasing true empathy, accountability, and the courage to face the consequences of her mistakes.
And this leads us to incredibly powerful and emotionally resonant turning points for the entire group. The sheer joy of forgiveness and reconnection washes away so much of the prior pain and misunderstanding that has plagued them.
That feeling of relief must be immense.
Oh, I bet. This is a moment of profound emotional catharsis, not just for Georgia, but equally for Jason and Pip. It's the immense relief of understanding, of having hurt feelings acknowledged, validated, and finally being able to move past them.
Healing can finally begin.
Exactly. This process ultimately reaffirms the enduring strength of their group. Their friendships, which were tested to their absolute limits and nearly broken by misunderstandings and missteps, emerged stronger, built on a new, more solid foundation of honesty, vulnerability, and a much deeper mutual understanding.
Stronger for having gone through it.
That's the feeling. Imagine, for a moment, the profound feeling of being truly seen and accepted by your closest friends after a period of intense self-doubt, isolation, and such difficult mistakes. It's that profound sense of belonging, the overwhelming relief that your core connections are not only intact, but are in fact reinforced and deepened by the very challenges they faced. It's a testament to loyalty.
And this powerful reconciliation truly raises an important question. The notion of friendship as a foundation that can be as strong, if not stronger, than romance.
The power of platonic love.
Yes. Oseman compellingly illustrates that for Georgia, and indeed for many others, platonic love is not a secondary form of affection, but a primary, enduring, and deeply fulfilling one. It is, in fact, the bedrock of her entire support system.
It's what holds her together.
Absolutely. The book also powerfully illustrates the transformative power of vulnerability in healing deep rifts. It takes immense courage for Georgia to explain her heroic identity and her previous missteps, to lay bare her inner world and the confusion that drove her actions.
That takes guts.
It really does. And it takes an equal measure of courage and generosity for her friends to truly listen, to process their own pain, and to extend genuine forgiveness. Contrast this with the often romanticized ride-or-die friendship tropes prevalent in American media. Oseman takes this concept to a much deeper, more vulnerable level, showing how friends can navigate genuine pain and come out on the other side with bonds that are not just intact, but profoundly strengthened and matured.
It's more real somehow.
It feels that way. It's a nuanced and honest portrayal of platonic love.
In today's fast-paced, often superficial digital age of 2025, where connections can sometimes feel fleeting and transient, this chapter serves as a profound reminder of the enduring impact of in-person empathy and genuine support.
FaceTime still matters a lot.
It really does. Despite the omnipresent ease of online communication, especially among college students who often rely heavily on social media, face-to-face conversations, and authentic acts of care, such as Georgia's thoughtful, personalized gestures, hold immense, irreplaceable weight in mending relationships. These authentic present connections are what truly heal and strengthen bonds, proving that digital communication, while useful, often cannot replace the depth of genuine presence.
You need that human connection.
Absolutely. So what does this all mean for us? This reconciliation isn't just a happy ending to a challenging phase. It's a profound statement about the true nature of loyalty, care, and human connection. It makes me reflect. When have you, our listener, witnessed vulnerability truly be the key to healing a damaged relationship, turning a moment of fracture into a foundation for something even stronger?
It's a powerful thing to see. Having bravely navigated the complexities of intense self-discovery and the painful but ultimately rewarding path of reconciliation, Georgia now moves towards a future where she consciously defines her own connections.
She's taking control.
Exactly. This isn't about compromising. It's about challenging deeply ingrained societal norms and embracing a new, deeply authentic kind of partnership that aligns perfectly with her true self.
Like, subscribe, and share for more updates, and let's continue to the next chapter. So Georgia is now beautifully grounded in her identity and profoundly reconnected with her closest friends. This brings us to Chapter 7, where Alice Oseman wraps the story with such a hopeful and expansive vision of what love and connection can truly be.
The final act, and it's really satisfying.
It really is. This final chapter explores how Georgia actively builds new relationships, not despite her identity, but precisely because of it, truly embracing and living as her authentic self. We also witness the remarkable evolution of her relationship with Rooney, who was initially a source of considerable conflict, now transforming into a unique and profoundly meaningful platonic partnership.
From antagonist almost to partner.
Kind of, yeah. What's truly revolutionary here is the deliberate and conscious choice Georgia and Rooney make. They form a platonic partnership.
And Oseman is very clear about what that means.
Yes. This isn't depicted as a consolation prize or a lesser form of connection. It's meticulously described as a deliberate, chosen bond that is prioritized and experienced as intensely as any romance.
That intensity is key. It's not just friends.
No. This partnership fundamentally prioritizes emotional intimacy, unwavering mutual support, and shared interests, all without the societal expectation or pressure of romance or sex. It's a powerful, radical statement that a deep, committed connection doesn't need to fit a conventional romantic mold to be profoundly meaningful and deeply satisfying.
It validates different ways of loving and connecting.
Absolutely. This narrative choice also subtly suggests significant growth on Rooney's part, as she learns to balance her own priorities and perhaps gains a deeper understanding of the diverse forms of connection that exist, and how to navigate her own romantic experiences while being a supportive and dedicated friend to Georgia.
Rooney grows too, which is great to see.
Definitely. This is a crucial distinction. It's not just friendship in the casual sense. It's a committed, intentional relationship with its own explicit rules, boundaries, and a profound depth specifically designed to meet their unique needs for companionship and intimacy, a chosen family bond.
Like a queer platonic partnership, or a QPP as some call it.
Exactly. And this brings about some incredibly significant emotional turning points, not just for Georgia, but for Rooney as well. This mutual growth, forged through understanding and commitment, brings both characters an unparalleled sense of belonging and optimism for the future.
They find something real together.
They do. Both characters truly evolve through this unique relationship. Georgia finally finds the deep, authentic connection she had always craved, realizing it doesn't have to be romantic. And Rooney gains a profound, perhaps unprecedented friendship in her own life, discovering new depths of connection.
It's a win-win.
Totally. This partnership beautifully closes the loop on Georgia's quest for connection and self-acceptance. It thoroughly fulfills her deepest desire for intimacy and companionship, proving unequivocally that romantic love isn't the only path to a fulfilling life or genuine happiness. You can almost feel a joy and peace that radiate from Georgia, finally being truly seen, accepted, and loved for exactly who she is, without any lingering pressure to conform to expectations that simply don't fit her.
That sense of peace is palpable.
It really is. It's a liberating and joyful resolution for both of them.
And this transformative ending raises a critically important question about redefining love itself to explicitly include non-romantic forms as equally valid and valuable.
Expanding the definition.
Yes. Oseman eloquently elaborates on the vast spectrum of human connection and affection that exists far beyond the narrow, often exclusive, societal definition of love as solely romantic. This is a core, transformative message of the book, elevating platonic connections to their rightful place of importance, rather than seeing them as lesser or merely temporary until real love, meaning romantic love, eventually comes along.
Challenging that hierarchy of relationships.
Exactly. Think about the pervasive traditional American narrative where friends often settle down with romantic partners and then gradually drift apart, prioritizing their spouses or significant others above all else. Oseman boldly presents a powerful alternative, demonstrating that deep, lasting, and profoundly fulfilling bonds can exist and thrive in many diverse forms, thereby challenging cultural norms that often undervalue friendships in favor of romantic pairings.
It's saying friendship is enough. It is profound.
That's like,
This is truly where the story opens up an expansive landscape of possibility, and is what makes this final chapter so inspiring. As 2025 sees an increasing number of conversations around concepts like relationship anarchy, which advocates for valuing all relationships equally regardless of type, and queer platonic partnerships, QPPs, which describe deeply committed, non-romantic, and non-sexual bonds, this finale serves as a profound inspiration.
these ideas are gaining more traction.
They are. It encourages listeners to value and cherish all forms of love and connection in their lives, recognizing their inherent worth. In progressive communities and online spaces across the United States, there's a growing awareness and acceptance of these diverse relationship structures. This makes Georgia's story feel not just relevant, but cutting edge and highly pertinent to current social discussions about how we define and prioritize our most cherished connections.
It feels very timely.
It does. This final chapter isn't merely an ending. It's an invitation. It bravely encourages us all to define our own paths to connection and happiness, free from prescribed norms. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's about fundamentally expanding our collective understanding of human connection itself. So what new possibilities does Georgia's extraordinary journey open up for your understanding of love, relationships, and the boundless forms of human connection?
It definitely makes you think. Georgia's journey in Loveless offers a truly powerful and illuminating lens through which to examine our own deeply held assumptions about love, identity, and fulfillment. It courageously encourages us to look beyond conventional narratives and societal expectations and instead to embrace the full, vibrant spectrum of human connection available to us. We've truly followed Georgia on an incredible arc, haven't we? From her initial confusion and alienation at a post-prom party, through the rocky, often painful terrain of college experiments and strained friendships, to her profound and liberating self-discovery as aromantic and asexual.
It's been quite the ride.
Definitely. Her story culminates not in finding romantic love, but in a powerful and deeply personal redefinition of love itself. What's so truly fascinating and impactful here is how Alice Oseman masterfully shows that fulfillment isn't confined to one specific type of relationship, and that true belonging and deep contentment come from fiercely embracing your authentic self, even if that self beautifully deviates from what society often expects.
That authenticity is the key.
It really seems to be.
So what does this all mean for you, our listener, right now? Georgia's courageous deep dive into her own identity serves as a powerful invitation for all of us to critically question the societal scripts we've been given about love, happiness, and what constitutes a full life.
Time to examine those assumptions.
Exactly. It challenges us to broaden our own definitions of connection and to fiercely value the relationships and bonds that truly resonate with our authentic selves, whatever form they may take. Perhaps it's about consciously celebrating a deep platonic friendship with the same fervor and commitment we traditionally reserve for a romance. Or maybe it's about giving ourselves the profound permission to simply not pursue what everyone else seems to be relentlessly chasing.
Permission to define your own happiness.
Yes, it's about crafting a life that genuinely fits you.
And this journey raises an important question for you to ponder and carry forward. In a world that often pressures us towards a singular romantic narrative of love, what unique forms of connection and belonging are you overlooking, or perhaps even inadvertently undervaluing in your own life right now?
That's a powerful thought to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Alice Oseman's Loveless. It's been an incredible exploration.
It really has. We truly hope this journey has given you some surprising facts, fresh perspectives, and plenty to think about regarding the beautiful diversity of human connection.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep making those authentic connections that truly nourish your soul.
Goodbye, everyone.
See you next time.